Anyway, hi everyone, welcome to Parkware. So just a little bit about me. I'm very Manikandan. I'm a junior at Research Triangle High School in Durham, North Carolina. I think I've been interested in programming around 3 years, and most of my projects have just been around app development and AI. I started getting involved with Parkware around a year ago, last summer. Now, just take a look at this picture and just tell me what's wrong. In the first picture, you see a beautiful sidewalk, and cars are just lying along, just blocking pedestrians from walking, and it just looks really bad, right? And I mean, obviously, there's like many other problems that it causes. You look on the bottom picture, and you see that the cars are overflowing all the way onto the streets, and pedestrians can't walk across the sidewalk. And yeah, there's like a lot of issues with this as well. Like when it comes to like driving, the street is like really narrow, and so yeah, 2016 was when I moved into Berkshire, which is where I still live, and there we immediately realized the problem. The problem was that we just had nowhere to park. It was just a huge issue. There's so much like fighting against like the town government and the town council, and there's no solution at all. One of the main reasons was because there's no street side parking allowed. On both sides of the street, there are fire lanes, as well as very small driveways, only two park spaces, and so we just don't have enough spaces. Like if we're going to a party or when hosting a party or anything in general. And I guess a temporary solution was a neighborhood WhatsApp group. I think some other neighbors have that, I'm not really sure, but essentially how it worked was maybe someone says, oh yeah, it's my son's birthday party this Saturday, I need 5 parking spaces, how many of you can chip in your parking space? And people just go and message in that group chat, but there were a lot of problems with this. We can see that it was like incredibly disorganized. It easily gets like flooded with different messages. Like a neighborhood WhatsApp group, people just put other things as well, it's not just about parking. And we just thought we can automate the entire process. And so our solution is Parkware. Basically, we connect event organizers with unused driveway space of like residential parking owners. So this could be like anyone, right? Like you could be an event organizer for your any birthday or anniversary or anything you want. And a residential parking owner, well, I'm sure almost all of you guys, or all the adults, or have parking available, or at least like see that there's some parking available, maybe at your neighbor's house that you can use. Maybe like if you're lacking any parking spaces. Here's just like kind of a flow of how it would work. So for example, like the event organizer, they send a request, the event gets broadcasted through the app, and then providers close to the event location, they based on the proximity, they're able to accept that event request. And eventually, we also have features where the guests can update their status on that provider's location. So yeah, the provider has a view of who's actually arriving at their park space or at their home and when they actually leave. And so there's like 2 main benefits to this. So first is decentralized. Everyone can choose a driver that's very convenient to them. So like usually you might, like I think the initial solution that people were proposing was just to construct a parking lot nearby. There's a lot of issues with this. I mean, I guess land is very expensive, right? So it's hard to get that space available and sufficient space. And yeah, most of the time, like communities are way too big in order for just like one car space or one parking lot to actually fit all of them. Another thing that it is that this is like a very scalable idea in that this problem is being faced by many other neighborhoods, and yeah, especially like these developing suburban areas such as my home where I found this idea. So here's like a quick background as to like the development. So I use React Native for the front end and Firebase as the back end, and yeah, here's just like the features that I use in those service providers. Deployment. So last fall, I deployed. We had like a first round of testing, and then again this springtime. We supported 10 events. We got around like 70 plus users. A lot of positive feedback from the neighborhood. And we had like a lot like the friends of those neighborhoods saying that that could also like solve problems in their neighborhood as well. And so yeah, we see that this has like a lot of support from like real users and users as in like most communities are facing this issue. So this is like a very widespread thing. Future enhancements. So I think right now that can only be shared through like an in-app broadcast. But what we're thinking is something like similar to like eBite or Sign Up Genius, where you have like some link that's created, and that link can just be like put into like a WhatsApp message or a Facebook message or post or something like that. And so people can just quickly click that link and then just provide them space if they live nearby. Um, Another thing is that the neighborhood leaders can maybe manage sign up. So basically, we'll be able to sell this product to like pick your ways to manage their community needs. And yeah, to continue, I think parking management for large scale events is also like a great problem. I think one of the biggest things was like cricket tournaments that, and this is just like one example that I faced like in real life. Yeah, my home is like very close to a cricket pitch, a cricket pitch, and they just don't have like enough parking spaces, so they use many of the homes and like schools nearby for parking. And yeah, it's hosted by Major League Cricket. But yeah, like, they have to have shuttles to and from the parking location to like the school or wherever they're parking. But there may be like some neighborhoods nearby, closer to like that, tournament location or something like that, that we can like, utilize or they could utilize better, and it could just improve like their experience as well. And then another thing is just like to provide a view of when guests like arrive in the parking spaces. And yeah, we talked to Hamsa, which is a cultural organization. They're very popular for Kerry Diwali, if you might be like familiar with that. And yeah, they said that this is like a big problem they're facing, and maybe something else that we can like innovate on. And yeah, also like, just go back to the first point. For cricket tournaments, we have connections with the Mooresville like Smart City Council and the mayor there. Yeah, we presented them a couple months back, and they're like interested in working with us to enhance this solution. Monetization, so I think kind of went over it, where providers maybe like set a price and like some sort of like rate setting mechanism, and organizers can just like hit on price, and we get like a small commission from that transaction. And also for large scale events, for example, like cricket tournaments, and not just cricket tournaments, it could be like any sporting tournament where parking is lacking. This could be a solution. And yeah, I think like for collaboration, we're very interested and very open to collaborating with other communities, neighborhoods. Ways that you can help, maybe providing like app developers. This is something for the good of the community, and we want to make sure this has like a very widespread impact, because I've seen it in my town. I'm like a very developing town, and I know a lot of places, like maybe like Chicago, even could benefit a lot, and also funding as well. It could be very helpful. Like just for continuing like, the efforts and like using Firebase and all the other development platforms. And yeah, thank you. This is my LinkedIn and has my contact information if you want to reach out later. And on the right, it has a link to more about Parkware and like a pitch video playlist of all the features, install links as well for iOS and Android. And just some more information. Thank you.